So Red is dropping the Komodo X. That's one thing. There's a lot of Komodo for sale, and almost everyone is selling their Komodos. And I have just swapped my Red Komodo to this amazing Red Helium 8K Super 35. So that is what we are going to talk about. But I only have one question to Red. So if we pre-order the Red Komodo, are we going to receive the camera this Christmas or next Christmas? That is one thing that I seriously want to know, because basically what happened is when the Komodo was announced, original Komodo, we did pre-order the Komodo with a project in mind, and honestly by the time we pre-ordered the Komodo and to when the project happened, and to when we received the Komodo, it was over a year in delay, and the project have already taken place, and we found another camera to use. And that's one thing that I'm like, guys, before you pre-order the Komodo, just ask yourself, if I pre-order that camera now and get it 9 months from today, am I still going to be in love with the camera? Because you know what, most of the time when you order something, you want it at least a few weeks. You see, if there's a delay, maybe 2 3 months, not 9, not 12, because that you get to think about, like, you know what, did I really make the right choice? But again, I think this Komodo is going to be the best camera, and let me explain. So first of all, when I actually got the Komodo, there's so many things that was still wrong with the Komodo, and they kept releasing firmware to fix them, to add a few things, and now that they've got the formula, I guess, or I think they had to redraw or go back on the drawing board and said, you know what, this is something that we could have done better in the original Komodo. So let's put this in the Komodo X, and which I feel like that's what they are going to do. And the Komodo for me was good, but again, I had a love and hate relationship with the camera. As an operator, you really want to feel comfortable, feel great using a piece of gear that you have. And for me, that did not click very well. But I'm actually curious to see the addition to the new Komodo X and how much price difference is going to be. I'm guessing Super 35, obviously, Red Love Resolution, and they might chuck in maybe 8K Super 35 global shutter. That would be great, but 6K and 8K, what's the price difference? And we might get, 60 frame per second in 6K. That is possible, but if there's only those two things, and obviously they've mentioned better audio, those three things alone, I want to see the price difference, because that's actually curious. That's why I'm quite curious to know. And like I say, this camera is going to be great, and I really want it to be fast enough. I want it to be reliable. I want it to have at least the full firmware, so when you buy the camera, you can experience the full thing without having to wait, or this is not working, or we're still working on this. Also, Red, I want there to be enough cameras. And I feel like when they released the Komodo, honestly, they probably had like 20 Komodos. And let me explain. So the first one, they give it to their favorite YouTuber. They'll make those cool B-roll and brag about how good the camera is. And they use that as baits to chuck in the ocean. Then all the fish is gonna come into the net with their credit card and then swap you guys and say, boom, we've got enough money. Now let's make the cameras for you guys. And let's say the delivery of the chip, if it's 6 month delays, and you guys get also to experience another delay, which I feel like it's common in the camera manufacturer, but at least give people great expectation on when they might receive their camera. But I am curious to see the image quality. I'm curious to see how we going to rig the camera. Did Red actually add the battery module on the Komodo X? I feel like that could actually be good if Red can be like, you know what, guys, we are going to save you guys money and find a way to just mount a little battery here, and that means people do not have to buy the accessories. Also, as mentioned, a Komodo owner, I really liked my Komodo, and I did not like it for some reason because I felt like something was missing. Also, it was very slow camera, especially the touch was not very responsive as much as I wanted to. So I found someone who was willing to trade this red helium epic W with my red Komodo, and we actually traded everything, which is cool. And I actually prefer red DSM-C2 cameras, and the Gemini is actually my favorite because the Gemini low light capability and just the image quality is so beautiful, and I love that camera. But obviously we do have an Epic W that I've used on like a few projects, and I'm liking everything. And one thing that I do like in the DSM-C2 cameras is actually the compression. I do like the ability to choose the compression to when you feel like my card is going to be enough, or depending on what you shoot. And that is one thing that this camera would always be the best. And again, the price of DSMC2 honestly is going way down. All obviously, thank you Red for removing that on their website, also for dropping the price, because when Red removed the camera on their website, a lot of people started panicking, and then it resulted in so many people selling their DSMC2 to get either a new Red camera or something that they want. Again, I've mentioned that there's a lot of people selling their red Komodo. So let me tell you. So I do have a group, or own a group on Facebook called Used Film Gear. And in that group, we do have active user, and there are around 70k or over 70k people that sells their gear all the time. And honestly, the amount of Komodos that I see selling in that group, it is insane, which actually got me surprised. And I kind of like sometimes ask them question, hey, why are you selling your camera? Some people just say, you know what, I purchased the Komodo because of the hype, and now I'm just selling it because I feel like I can do better with another camera that costs less. Some people will say we do love the Komodo, and basically we're selling it because the camera have paid itself off and we just want to sell it to make more money. And some people will tell you we're selling the Komodo because we do have some financial problems, and some people will tell you we just finished wrapping a production and that's why we are selling a Komodo. So if you see people selling their Komodos, they might be one of those reasons that I've listed, or something else that I do not know about. But right now, I'm actually enjoying using the red helium 8K, and I do have some amazing Canon FD lenses here that I have been testing, and they actually perform very well. I'm kind of in a process to moving a studio, so you see very good videos of comparing Canon FDs on the red plus Canon FD on the Blackmagic Pocket 6K and 6K Pro, which are the cameras that I use the most. But listen, comment below what you think about the Komodo X and what the Komodo X is bringing to the table. And what I'm looking forward to is the differences with the Komodo and the Komodo X in usability, functionality, and just frame rate and image quality, and also how much Red is going to price that, and see how basically they will charge. But again, guys, if you're new here, my name is Kashilembo, and I just wanted to talk about the new camera, and obviously the camera that I've just picked up. So stay tuned for my other videos. Peace.